Welcome back to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Justin Stoddart. Today, we're going to talk about swimming with sharks. You're probably thinking, what in the world does this have to do with real estate? Right now in our industry and our economy, it has everything to do with real estate. So before we get too much into swimming with sharks, what that means for you, I want to remind you that we have show notes. You can get summary and everything that you've been missing on this show. If you go to thinkbigger.realestate, sign up to get that weekly review. I've got people praising me, thanking me for that summary that comes to them, allows them to choose what episodes are most relevant to them. So be sure to go sign up, thinkbigger.realestate. I also want to remind you that my mission and my purpose is to help you to think bigger. My overall passion is you're going to have a life of impact, but you have to do more and get better results in order to have that happen. And the only way for that to happen is to put you around big thinkers that help expand your thinking, expand your possibilities. And I'm excited to bring to you today another big thinker, somebody who not only has done it in her own life, but continues to do it in the lives of other people. So Amy Donaldson, who is a real estate agent here in the Portland metropolitan area. She's also an author of Get Off the Cash Flow Roller Coaster. Great book. I've read it. It's wonderful. And she's also a coach. And so I want to thank and welcome all at the same time, Amy Donaldson. Thanks for joining us today on the Think Bigger Real Estate Show.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you. What a fun introduction.
I love it. So talk to us about swimming with sharks. You literally had an experience recently that like this could have been a very, very real possibility. Please explain what happened.
Yeah. So last Friday, I was down in Southern California, and I love to go in the water with my nephew. So I'm surfing with my 13-year-old nephew in Manhattan Beach, and I see something out of the corner of my eye, but I don't register, and Caden looks up at me and he goes, "Aunt Lulu," that's what he calls me. He goes, "Aunt Lulu, I just saw a fin, like a shark fin." And I'm like, really? But I'm thinking like I saw something it was kind of like a gray, black, like, are you sure? And he goes, "Yes, I'm 100% sure. I saw a fin and then it went under." Because I think
you're on surfboards.
I know, and it wasn't that far away from us either. So of course we're heading back into shore. And I'm just gonna leave the story there.
Well, here's something I want to point out. All of us have maybe seen these images of helicopters or from helicopters flying along the California coast, which shows surfers out in the water, and you see sharks like not that far away from them. And it's like, do people have any idea like what's in the water? Like maybe that's a whale, maybe that's I don't know, right? But it looks a lot like a shark from the images. Like, and here you are out there with your nephew.
And that's actually where sharks live, by the way, is the ocean. That is where sharks live. That's right. Where they live. That's in the ocean.
Yeah, you're in their home, right? This isn't you sitting at your home and they're in your home. Like you went into their home.
Yes.
Whew. Okay, so let's circle back on that story. We're going to let everybody that's watching this hang on just a little bit to hear what happened. It looks like you have your limbs. It looks like you made it. I don't know about your nephew yet.
We went back in the water that day. We went back. So I'm going to let everyone sit on that and think, why on earth? Not only would I go back, but why would my sister let me bring her kid back in the water?
Right. So talk to us about this. What in the world does this have to do with real estate right now?
So here's the thing. There is so much going on in our industry, and there's a lot of stuff in the waters of real estate. So that's the parallel that I saw. And people, we see things and there's a lot of chatter. Is this thing a threat? Is that a threat? Is this friendly? But nobody's swimming to shore to assess the situation. Not nobody. A lot of people are, but a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are just kind of like hanging out and debating whether things are a threat or not.
Or I'll interject, and or just doing what they've always done, assuming that they're going to get the results that they've always gotten, right? I mean, I have kind of an interesting perspective being in the title and escrow industry. We see all the listings that go live, and we see that in a very short period of time, right? Open Door, who is an iBuyer, has become probably the biggest listing agent in Portland in no time, which is really, really interesting, right? These guys were a no-name a year ago in new to our market in a very short period of time through a mass mailing effort. And they just posted up in in my Facebook timeline the other day, last night actually, it said open door, see how much, or see if we'll make an offer on your house, right?
Yeah.
People are seeing these. Your best clients, the people who have used you and referred you, are at least getting these letters. They're at least getting this stuff in their news feed. And yet people are, in my opinion, there's a little bit of complacency of like, now again, I think that there is some concern, no doubt, but many are doing what they've always done, right? And they're expecting to get the same results. And I just don't think you're going to get the same results. So go ahead.
That's right. No, that's right. That's exactly right. There's people who are pretending it doesn't matter, or people who are saying that doesn't affect me. It affects us. Now, I personally don't believe the iBuyers are a threat, but to be clear, they affect us. It's a major, major part of our market. And, and I see agents post these things all the time of, list with an agent versus iBuyer, and it's a financial breakdown. And let me tell you, this is absolutely the wrong way to go, because it's the exact same thing that the iBuyers are showing the consumer. Like, this isn't new information. So the people who are selling their home to Open Door, the bottom line, the finances is not their motivation. Like, think about that for a minute. That they are the largest. They are listing more homes than anyone else, which means they're buying more homes than anyone else. And there's a reason for that. And real estate agents are not, as a group, really paying attention. So I had an interesting experience a couple years ago that really made me take notice. That there was a moment, it's something someone said to me that I thought, you know what, this is a powerful statement, and it could be easy to miss. So I was having, just a networking meeting, a one-on-one with somebody in a networking group that I was with. And he texted me and said, do you want a cup of coffee? It's pretty normal, So I told him what I want, gave him my order. And when he showed up to my office with both of our coffees, he was super excited. So this was right when Starbucks was rolling out their app that you can order it ahead of time. Mm-hmm. So this was the first time he had used that app, where he had preloaded some money onto his, basically onto his card on his phone. So anyway, he gets to my office. He's so excited, telling me about, and I hadn't heard of this new feature yet, but so he says, I was in my driveway when I texted you, and I placed the order. So when I texted him back, he placed the order from his driveway, pulls up to the same Starbucks that he always goes to, where he normally waits in line. He walked in, both of our drinks were on the counter, right, with his name on them. So he was like, this was amazing. I walked in, I got to walk right up to where the mobile orders are, because I picked him up. And this is what he said that was powerful. And he was grinning ear to ear. He goes, I didn't have to talk to anybody. Right. And I thought that's a powerful statement, because in our industry, I hear so many real estate agents say, well, I'm relational and I can't be replaced by a computer. And while I agree with that statement, the problem with it is people aren't understanding what sometimes the consumer just wants the convenience, right? Like, in that moment, on that morning, Alex did not want to spend 5 minutes waiting in line and another 2 or 3 minutes talking to the barista. How's your morning going? Good. Right? He wanted to grab the coffee and get to our appointment. That's what he wanted. He wanted to walk in and have the coffee waiting for him, which is what Starbucks was able to deliver. And it's one of the reasons why they're so popular, is that they continue to deliver what the consumer wants. And frankly, it's not great coffee. Like, I feel like many places offer better coffee than Starbucks, but nobody offers a better, more consistent, predictable experience. And go ahead. So
how do we apply this to real estate? Here's some thoughts that I have, and then I'd love to have you add to them. Is that at the end of the day, people are coming to a real estate agent because they need to either buy or sell a home, right? That's at least initially why they're coming to you. And maybe some people want a relationship in that process. Maybe some just want to get the job done. I believe that if you are trying to make more of something than what it is, consumers don't want that. For example, small chat with a barista is not what I want. That's not a relationship to me, right? And it's friendliness. I'm not against, I'm not opposed to it, but I don't, that doesn't make or break my day as to whether or not I get that. Now,
yeah, he didn't want to hurry. He wanted to get to our appointment and talk to me.
Right. Now, if that barista tells me that, hey, were you aware that if you, and I'm pulling this out of my head, so this probably isn't a good example. If you buy 5 cups of coffee, you're going to get the 6th and 7th for free. Like stuff that I didn't know that actually makes my life better, right? Or, and maybe that's not a very good example because the app could have told me that as well, right?
Exactly.
But I'm let's say I'm standing in the line getting my drink, and she says, hey, Justin, do you know John? John comes in here all the time. I think John's in your same industry. You guys should totally meet. Now, all of a sudden, she stepped outside of the silo of being just a barista, and now she's a connector. She's connecting me to John, who happens to be an attorney, who happens to need some of the services that I offer. Now, all of a sudden, that was a delight. And because the barista, again, added more value than what I expected, not tried to make more out of something that she did for a living, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I think the way that it really translates into our industry is to think about what, like when I hear real estate agents, and I feel like they all say this, that, well, I'm relational, which if everyone says that, that's not a differentiator.
And so is the barista, right? Sure.
And so is the barista. So, but to think about what does that mean? Like when a real estate agent, when I'm coaching someone and they're like, oh, but I focus on the relationship. I'm like, okay, so are you throwing client appreciation parties? Most of them aren't. Are you throwing housewarming parties? Most of them aren't. What systems do you have in place to foster this relationship? Are you sending them birthday cards? I always sent my clients, handwritten birthday cards. It's pretty easy to get their birthday. And then I always would, look a week out so I can send, and then I send them a text. And now I send video texts I sent you a video text on your birthday.
I remember. From Hood to Coast. You were in a van full of other athletic, sweaty people.
Yeah, I was in a van full of sweaty women. Was your birthday Hood to Coast or was it Joe? Oh yeah. It was so males and females.
Yes.
So like, which van was I in? But those are systems that I have in place to foster relationships with people, right? As every day I look through Facebook, see whose birthday it is, and the people in my inner circle, I sing them happy birthday on a video. That's actually, I know now you know. But it's a system I have in place.
I thought I was the only one. It's okay. Go ahead.
Does it take away though? I mean, does it still make you feel special?
Totally. Do you know how many birthday videos I got that day? One. Lots of birthday wishes, one birthday video.
That So that's like my thing that I do. And for my buyers, I always got a big red bow that I put on their front door. And those are systems that I have in place that foster the relationship. So when I ask people, what are you doing they're just like, well, I really care about my clients. You have to put systems in place that you do the same thing every time. And that's what, like, part of the relationship with Starbucks. It's not that they're going to like suddenly become your network and start introducing you to other people in your field, right? Or even know that about you. But part of that relationship is that when you're wanting to, because a lot of times people meet there, when you're wanting to meet there, you go through the whole you wait in line, you get the thing, you do, they have these nice, comfortable chairs for you to sit in and have your meeting. And when you don't want to meet there, they have a system in place where you can walk up, your order's already ready, grab it and go. They're delivering both, and they're delivering what you want and what you need when you need it.
Right. Some people want the relationship. Some people want the small chat with the barista. Others are all about convenience. Now, I want to add something to your point there, Amy, about the birthday video. The fact that you did that and you showed up as somebody who genuinely cares about me and my life, something that then opened me up for us to have additional conversations, right? We had a lunch a couple of weeks ago and we strategized on each other's businesses. You gave me feedback on mine, even asked about my feedback on yours, like that was the foundation of value, in my opinion, right? The value didn't stop with the fact that you sent me a birthday video. And I think that's where a lot of agents get hung up and say, like, why didn't they still use me? I sent them a dang birthday video, just like Amy said. The reality is that's valuable on a personal level, but to really go above and beyond and stand out in a crowded marketplace, that's the foundation that you then get to build a house on. And the house has to be something really, really valuable. So for example, for me, I launched a website. You said, Justin, this looks great. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Here's some feedback on that. Now, all of a sudden, you've stepped into my life as not just a friend, right? I value the friendship, but now you're an advisor, you're a mentor, you're a partner. Like that again sets you apart from other relationships. And I know that I'm sharing that as an example because I know you do that with your clients. And that's maybe the point that I hope people are taking away from this, is that it's not enough just to be relational. That's necessary, and not the relational like you're talking about, Amy, that people typically do. Like, oh yeah, I'm friendly to them, right? Like I'm barista relational. No, we're talking about the kind of relationship that you are, where you say, let's go to lunch. I want to get knee to knee with you, and I want to learn what your concerns are, and then I'm going to follow up with those concerns with key introductions, key insights that are going to help you actually reach your goals. To me, that's going to become an integral part of someone's life and business.
When I'm working with real estate agents and helping them grow their business, and I ask them what that means to them to be relational, the overwhelming majority start telling me how much they care about their clients, which is this is like the perfect foundation. But it's the foundation. It's not the building. They think it's the building, right? This is you need to care, but where the return is on letting them know that you care and how much you care. And that's the value of having systems in place. And birthday is great. That means you're going to hit everybody at least once a year, right? Like you've got that for sure. But having systems in place and things that you do religiously and to everybody, because here's the thing, it doesn't the fact that I care about other people and send videos to other people on their birthdays doesn't diminish how much I care about you and what our relationship is.
Yeah, it tells you you're systematic and
I'm very systematic and intentional, and that comes back to me. And the other thing, when you have a system, it becomes a numbers game, because I sent videos to people who literally don't even send a thank you text in response. Okay. Now, had that been the only video I ever sent, I'd feel rejected, right? But because every single day I'm sending these videos, if someone doesn't respond, it's like it doesn't even register on my radar. And honestly, I'm assuming if they don't respond to that, they're probably busy. Like they probably got it, enjoyed it, and was like, oh, I'll respond later, or because they wanted to respond with a video, but aren't in a place where they can record a video, and then they write, and then they forget.
We all do it.
Oh yeah, we all do it, and it's like, and it's no big deal, because I've also gotten, like, it'll be weeks later, someone, oh my gosh, I never responded to that, and it's like, it's fine. But if you only send one, whatever the thing is, whether it's a card or a video, but if you only do it once, that's too small of a sample size to you need to be doing things systematically to see what kind of results. Like overwhelmingly, the birthday videos get fabulous results.
So taking us back into the water, right? You saw this fin and you guys started moving very quickly. You realized, like, we have to get out of here. I don't know what that fin was, but we have to get out of here. Talk to us a little bit, Amy, about something that you're launching. And I don't know if you want to tell the end of the story yet or not, but we can circle back on that. But you're launching something to help agents like get moving fast. Talk to us about why, like December 1st is what I understand. You're launching a 30-day challenge.
I'm doing a 30-day challenge. Okay. So it's finish strong, because this is not just the end of a year. This is the end of an entire decade. So it's based on my book, Get Off the Cash Flow Roller Coaster. But it's the 30-day Finish Strong Challenge. So every day we're going to have different assignments to get moving fast, hit the ground running in 2020, real estate agents are notorious for taking December off, whether they literally take it off or they just like essentially, December can be a fabulous, fabulous month in real estate. But yeah, I should finish that story because obviously I did not get eaten by any sharks. So we get back on shore, and my sister and my cousin and the rest of my family is sitting there and they're like, "Oh my gosh, did you guys see all the dolphins? There's a whole pot." Did you know how, and they were literally like, "Did you know how close you were to them?" So which I told her. Funny thing is, we saw a fin and thought it was a shark, which it was hilarious to them because they had been watching so just over the crest of the wave, there were these dolphins that were swimming in. So of course, Caden and I were like, let's get back out there because who doesn't want to surf with dolphins, which by the way was amazing. Amazing. I mean, to see huge pods of, there was probably 50 of them. So I can't believe that one was the first that we had seen. But to see dolphins out in the wild like that and up close was pretty incredible and like one of the most exciting things I've experienced. And so the parallels to our real estate thing is I think a lot of these things that we're seeing in our industry really are to our benefit if we understand them and if we know how to approach them, right? So a huge key for us and feeling safe and having a good experience was knowing that they were dolphins, right? And while you can actually get pretty close to dolphins and they're not going to bother you and they're just going to play around, when you see a fin in the water, the thing to do is not let's go approach it and see if this is a dolphin or a shark. Right. So this coaching program, it's a way to get yourself on shore where you have a lens. You can look at the entire landscape, see what's out there, what's safe, what's friendly. Most things are friendly. But
if you know how to interact with them, right? Like you've described, given us a great parallel with iBuyers, that there's a segment of the market that they're like Alex getting his coffee, like get out of my way, just get my house sold. I don't even care so much about the numbers. I just want to get rid of this thing, right? And there's a group of people that we all have to be okay with that's actually in their best interest. And there's a whole group of people that's not. They actually want top dollar for their house, and they actually want a great experience, and they actually want to be connected to your powerful network in the process. Those are the people where you need to spend your time, right?
But most people want top dollar for their house.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's an easy conversation and you're going to win that one every time. The people that want the convenience that an iBuyer offers, you're not going to win by showing them that they're getting more money by listing with you. But because that's not what's important to them. The way for some of those people, selling to an iBuyer is the best option. But for some of those people, if they could list it with an agent and have a slightly better experience, still have that convenience, that might be, so having a pool of cash buyers to say, hey, if I could get you a better offer than the iBuyer, but also without putting it on the market and bringing a bunch of people through, would that be of value to you?
I love it. So,
right, so you the people who want the convenience, you have to meet the convenience for them. You can't ignore that that's what's important to them. Right. And the overwhelming majority, yes, want top dollar. And so we don't have to have these graphs and these charts and show they're going to figure it out to list with an agent. What needs to be addressed is these people who want the convenience. Is there a way that we can offer the convenience and still work with them?
Yeah.
And if not, looking at if they sell their house to an iBuyer, what are they doing? Are they buying something else? Can I represent them on their purchase? Right? Just embrace this. Don't try to fight this to the point where you're now alienated. But okay, great. You sold your house. What are we doing with that money? Are we purchasing something else? Are you moving out of the area? Do you need a referral to another real estate agent? Like when you just don't fight the current.
It's awesome stuff, Amy. Yes, get moving, right? And get the help and the coaching and the mentorship that you do to get moving. I don't know that I've heard of somebody being bold enough to go through the month to do a 30-day challenge in December, right? And I think it's absolutely brilliant of you. There's a lot of stuff that goes up until December, but people just kind of expect that, hey, this is a month you take off. Whereas I've seen that when you do it right, you can actually have, it's actually a great time to be connecting with people. We don't have time to go into exactly what's all going to be in your challenge. That's for people to determine. We're going to put in the show notes. There'll be a link to it.
I do have to say one thing. So it's $49 and I'm offering a double money back guarantee. So if somebody takes the challenge, if they do all the things that I recommend and do not see immediate results in their business, I'm going to refund their money plus another $49.
Wow.
So it's a double money back guarantee. They're definitely going to see immediate results in their business.
I love it. Amy, signature question of the show. You got 30 seconds.
Okay.
What does a big thinker like you continue to do to be a big thinker and expand your own possibilities? Teach us.
Yeah. I spend as much time as possible with people on both ends of the age spectrum. So the youngest people I know, the little kids and the old folks. There's so much wisdom on the fringes. And those of us in the middle, I think, is when we get it all screwed up sometimes.
Interesting. Amy, would you do everybody a favor? Go follow Amy. She's going to tell later today a story she told me yesterday. She's going to tell it via live. This is my request of you, Amy. The story of your dad at 80 years old doing trapeze, like, in other words, flying through the air, being caught by hands and feet at 80 years old. Like, you guys are going to love this story. Amy, please tell everybody, because it ties in perfectly with what you just shared of the things that we can learn from both the young and the more wise. So amazing story.
But I'll tell the full story.
I love it.
On a live.
I can't wait to hear it again. So, folks, I want to thank you again for tuning in today. Amy, thank you for all you've poured into us. I would encourage everybody to make your December different. Get moving. Are there sharks in the water? There could be, right? And the best way to get the life that you want, regardless of what's happening, is to get moving. And December is a great way to end off this decade in action, you taking control of your business and life as opposed to letting it happen. So I want to make the final request to everybody that's listening. 3 very simple words you hear me say all the time, which are go, think bigger. Thank you, Amy, for helping us do that today. And thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thank you, Justin.